If you want to acquire new job applicants ready to apply, stop what you're doing right now and watch this video. I'm Janet Bartoli, SEO strategist for recruiters and staffing agencies, and in this video, I'm going to spotlight one of my staffing agency clients and show you how you can get the same results. Let's jump in. But this is an IT staffing agency. They started out with 0 conversions on their website. Now they're tracking all clicks to job applicants, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. They had less than 500 visitors each month from Google, which was less than their direct traffic. So in other words, they will have, they do have some job applicants that do have to go directly to the website, log in some time. So that that counts against their direct traffic. So every single month consistently before we started working together, there was way more direct traffic than there was any traffic from Google or any other search engine. And so now we're getting thousands more than direct traffic, and I'll show you that as well. Now, this is as I said, this is the most traffic. This is one of the things I really love working with a lot of my clients. We go from where organic traffic is maybe number 2 or 3, sometimes even 4th traffic generator to number 1. And that is, I love to reverse that, whether they're doing paid, whether they're doing social media or email marketing, we flip it so that the majority of their traffic is coming from organic search. So I'll show you how that works and all that set up. But first, I just wanted to give it a little screenshot of one of their analytics results. Now you can see organic search. Not only is that contributing to most users that are coming to the website, but also the most engaged. And so what's considered engaged is those that come in and actually take a specific action. So if you're coming in from Google and you're actually clicking on a job application or the call to action, whatever that may be, that is something that we track. And that is something that we want to make sure that we're keeping track of. So not only are we getting the majority of the traffic coming in from organic search, but it's also, they're very engaged. There's 70% engagement, 71% engagement rate, which is more than organic social and referral traffic. So what did their program actually look like before I even started working with them? Well, before, they had 0 digital marketing team. Now, they still don't have a digital marketing team internally. Right now, they're working with me and my team, so sort of outsourcing to a consultant or an agency, which is totally fine. But they didn't also have a strategy. So there was really no strategy to speak of. They didn't have any understanding as to even how to establish a digital marketing strategy. They had low, unengaged, inconsistent traffic. They had no method to track conversions, and they had a CEO who really did not even know what SEO meant. And for the benefit of all of you out here who don't know either, which is totally fine, I will never assume again that people know what SEO means. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it is a legitimate form of a form of acquiring leads and sales from an organic source, which is Google in this case. The majority of the traffic that comes to most of my client sites is coming from Google or Bing. And so that's really what it is. It's really optimizing or getting that content in front of the right audience from an organic perspective. And so that's really what search engine optimization is. There's a lot of nuance to it and some complexity to it, but it is really the Google search engine and really understanding the algorithm and how it works, and that it does leverage machine learning and AI. And so all of those things we take into consideration when creating a proper SEO program. Okay, after. Now, what I mentioned is the events, and this is, again, it's a screenshot from their Google Analytics. So we're tracking different things. This is from Google Analytics 4, so a little side tip for everyone. If you're not yet on Google Analytics 4 and you're on Universal Analytics or UA, you should be transitioning now as quickly as possible to Google Analytics 4, because next July of 2023, Google is doing away with Universal Analytics and is keeping in place Google Analytics 4. So if you want a year-over-year view, I highly recommend that you start as of this recording. This is July of 2022. So you're going to want to get this in place so that you have a full 12 months to be keeping track of. Now in there, what we do is we always make sure this is part of every SEO, or it should be part of every SEO program. It is for my clients. We're tracking the events. What is an event? An event can be anything from a page view or a session start or a click or a first visit. So all of these are considered events. But the ones that I most care about are things that are really impactful from a revenue generating standpoint. That being, we've got buttons inside the website that we're tracking to search jobs in this client's jobs database. And so we're tracking that. We're also tracking job applications, and that's what this click is here as well. Search jobs click. That's those that are interested in filling out a job application. We also have a contact form, as well as what's not being shown here are workforce solutions. So we do have those that are interested in contacting this client if they're a company and they want to fulfill certain jobs in a company. We have that click as well. But the majority of this traffic is coming directly from Google. And so the reason why they really were interested in implementing this program was because they're tired of seeing thousands of dollars going to Indeed and Monster and all the job boards out there, and they're not really getting a good return on their investment. I was able to prove this out too, to show them that the number of job applicants coming from Indeed and Monster versus those coming from Google directly to their website that they own is substantial. And so that was one of the reasons why they were very interested in implementing this SEO program. Now let me just show you what this SEO program looks like. It is comprised of what I call sprints. And so each sprint is a period in time. So sprint 0 and 1 together is 4 weeks. Each other sprint, depending, is generally 4 to 6 weeks in length of time. So once one of my clients goes through a particular sprint, they're coming out with actionable deliverables ready to add into their website, deploy all their recommendations within a 4 to 6 week period. So we do this very quickly, and we show results in a reporting on a monthly basis. So this particular client, we went through sprint 0, and we always start with web accessibility because you may likely have job applicants that are disabled in some way, whether visually impaired or need to use some sort of auditory aid. And so whether they're using screen readers or something that is actually helping them determine what the content is without being straight text on a page that someone who is not visually impaired, for example, we need to make sure that everything is web accessible and accessible to everyone, and not just those who do have sight and do have their have no problems with auditory, listening skills, etc. So this is something we need to be very aware of, and this is always what we go through first. We also discussed a website redesign because it was at least 2017, maybe even earlier, that the last time they had updated their website. They had just 5 pages on their website. This is not enough to create a content strategy with. So we did discuss strategy. We discussed specifically not only the broader SEO strategy, we discussed a content strategy. And so with just 5 pages, and it was a typical homepage, about us page, I think there was a contact page and one page that had all about their workforce solutions, splitting time with something for the job seeker. So this is not at all, if this is a brochure, this is not an actual website. Your website should be a lead generating machine, and something that is less than 5 or 10 pages is not able or capable of being a lead generating machine for your business. So this is something we discussed very early on in the SEO program. We also talk about conversion tracking and discussing the holes. So when I'm talking about holes, or specifically conversion holes, is we get the traffic to the website. Okay, what does that traffic do next? We should have a specific call to action on every single page in the website. So, for example, if you have a blog post on how to negotiate your salary during an interview, at the bottom of that, it should be want to talk to a recruiter right now, and there should be a link to fill out a form. Maybe it's a chat, a web chat, something. You have to give them something to do, and there's something to track. This is the best way to determine the ROI that you get from your SEO program. So we discussed the holes, which there were many. We then went right into sprint one. And as we're going to sprint one, the decision was made to go through a whole website redesign and really build this site out. We expanded the navigation to include a knowledge center, which was a blog that had all valuable content reaching all different types of job seekers at every different stage in their journey. We also identified a specific one or two different positions that they were very interested in providing more content on and around within the healthcare industry and within the IT industry. And we focused really more specifically on two positions in each of those industries. We then corrected technical errors, went through a whole full website quality audit while we were in this sprint one. So this is all going on and happening while the client is going through a website redesign. So my team and I are working directly with the web development team, and we should be, because you should always have SEO oversee any significant change in your website, or if not, you will see a dramatic decrease in traffic. I can't tell you the countless times I've seen or heard of a website tell me that they do not want to go through a redesign again because the last time they did, they lost significant amounts of traffic. Every migration I have ever gone through with my clients has either increased, always, they've been all increases. One was flat, so we never lost traffic. But all of the migrations, and there were, as I said, several, has always increased in traffic because there was SEO oversight. So while I'm overseeing the SEO with the development team, my team is going through a full website quality audit. We're correcting technical errors in the existing site. We're doing a content audit, which wasn't very much because they only had 5 pages. We did a competitive analysis. We did an analytics audit to determine, do you have analytics set up? Do you have Google Search Console set up? We then conducted an analysis out of those. We set up all the conversion tracking, and then we conducted what's called a search analysis. So we don't do necessarily keyword research because we don't focus just on the singular keyword because Google looks at search intent. So we're looking at search intent and we're doing the analysis around that. When we have all of that done and completed, we're then moving into sprint 2. This is where we're doing new content development. We're establishing a hub and spoke content strategy. And a hub and spokes content strategy is the smartest way to get your content organized for not only Google, but for your visitors. No matter what stage of the job seeking journey that they are on, whether it is I'm considering changing careers or I am ready right now to find a software engineering position in my local town. So no matter where they are, who they are, we're covering off on the right amount of content through that hub and spoke. So in one of the examples that we did for them, for example, is we focused on medical receptionists. So this was a particular healthcare position that did not require a certificate or a medical degree. And so what we wanted to do was create an extensive guide for that new medical receptionist and what that person needed to have, what kinds of skills, where their career could go eventually. And it was a very broad understanding. It was not a job description. It was more of an expert level guide for this particular job seeker to identify whether this was the right career path that they should take. Outside of that very lengthy guide, we then created smaller pieces of content, other blog posts that were linked to it, that were directly related to that guide. So we had medical receptionist interview questions that you should be asking. That was linked right to the guide. We also had a salary conversation. We had what to expect the first week on the job as a medical receptionist. All of these are subtopics of that bigger guide. And so that is the hub and spoke strategy. We established that for them. The next thing after you're creating all this content, which should be done on a regular and consistent basis, because not only does Google want to see regular content coming from your site so that it can index it properly, crawl it, index it, and get it ranked, but your visitors or any new other job seekers who are out there want to see fresh new things, anything that is trending that you might want to talk about. We want to get all of that out in Sprint 3. So the way to distribute it is not only while we're waiting for Google to pick up on this content and index it and get it ranked, but we're doing what's called digital PR, and that's press releases. We're looking at online reviews. We've also established a podcast and YouTube strategy, which again, from an SEO standpoint, we can optimize podcasts and we can optimize, obviously, our videos in our YouTube channel. And this is key because Google owns YouTube. So it's just a natural and the second most used search engine too, by the way. So this is also the strategy that we put together. We're optimizing the podcast and any videos. And of course, in digital PR are the link campaigns. And we do run a very strategic white hat link campaign for our clients. Next is Sprint 4, and this is extremely important, which is conversion rate optimization, or CRO. We're identifying converting any bottlenecks in the site. So when we relaunch the website, we've got all of our tracking in place. We're now analyzing on a month-to-month basis to see the traffic's coming in. Are they going through the right calls to action? Are they missing those calls to action? And if they're missing them, we need to be testing and maybe changing certain calls to action, maybe up above the fold or in different placement within the site. We also run A/B tests. We also have call tracking. So we place call tracking software on the site so that way anytime somebody makes a call directly from the website, we know where they came from. They could have come from Google. We also know the search query they used to come into the website and then make a phone call to your business. So all of that's done in the conversion rate optimization. It's just critically important. And CRO really is a nice overlap and a complement to SEO, just the same way that paid search is. So hopefully you found this valuable. I look forward to spotlighting your staffing agency in a separate video. And if you are interested in discussing any of these sprints or your own staffing agency strategy, I would like to recommend that what you do is give me a shout. You can contact me at bartoliconsulting.com. I will drop it in the comments below and in the description so that you can reach me directly, select a time and a date that's most convenient to you and your team, and let's talk through a strategy where we can really help you get your arms around SEO and really acquire more job applicants from Google than from the job aggregators. So once again, you can reach me at bartoliconsulting.com. And if you found this helpful, comment below. If you have any questions about this, drop a comment below.